Anamkara.
Anamkara.
That Celtic beginning. The theme I've had for the preceding weeks has to do with the celestial orb, the sun, the eye of the thunderbird, and on through the human interactions and cultures involved with the sun. Past couple of weeks you saw Ogam, Ogmakran. Here in this country, meaning Turtle Island, the Celtic presence from very, very long time ago, and engraved on rocks or painted on rocks. And so I'm kind of continuing with that. The name Grin uses the sun. Shani pronounced it Grinir. It's also Gronje. So different pronunciations of it. There wasn't really a Celtic standard. And also to realize that the Celts and their language are very idiomatic. And there isn't really any standard. We've known of this site that I'm going to refer to, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. And Vivian first discovered it and took me up there. It's in Nevada. It's called Takima Cave, and it's in the Takima Mountains, and she tells me the Shoshone name for that is Black Back. It sounds very occultish. And it is a cave. It's very, very high up. You look like you're looking over the top of the world, like that. And it's a very kind of a long cave, and it's absolutely, totally filled with painted ogam. And at the time that I made this, 20 years ago, whatever, Shani was here, our mentor, or a very erudite Gaelic scholar like that. So I showed him also pictures, so he has a lot to do with what I've translated here in this. And very interesting, I focused just on one part here. This is basically a love letter for Grimm. But other pictures of the Ogam in there, he recognized the name, a name for this place meant a dry camping place. And he explained that that shows that whoever wrote these things was from Scotland. And that name in Gaelic means that this is on the border of the Romans. And the name crosses over. In other words, in the language, the Latin gets over into the Gaelic, and the Gaelic gets over into the Latin, and that sort of thing. So that very much affirmed that who these people were certainly were in the language of the Scotch Gaelic, because he could read it, he could understand it. So that's the way that I'm going here. And the translations, again, they're idiom. Exactly, what it sounded like, well, I don't know. Maybe, who knows, maybe it's a couple thousand years ago. But on the outside of the cave, there's a long lead in. Oh, I should say that the rocks in this are very, very rough. And all these things are painted. And to paint on such a rough rock, you really would be very meticulous. I put these together by a combination of sketches first. Vivian, that first one, to find it and make drawings of some of these, and then a combination of photographs and further drawings. That's how I've put this together that I'm presenting here. And it would say it's rather occultish, it's a spell, and so forth, which is interesting. I have this blue feather here. This is to say tomorrow, October 1st, would be actually the day. The occult Ogam, from Bird Ogam, it's called, from the book of Ballymote, has in the Celtic system, every month named for a bird, and it's a symbol. So tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and it goes with this whole piece, geese. A geese is a spell. It's a spell or incantation or something like that, and that's very much what this is. The symbol for the geese for tomorrow is the blue swan. So that figures in with this. So the first thing is I'm starting here with this deer toes. Deer toes is amazing and very, very long. Somebody painted these deer tracks, on the rocks that are leading to the cave. And so the translation for that is Grin art bit nam pied. That means that this is a sunny eminence where the deer come to. And further up it'll say, enter and come in, enter here. like that. So the deer, you know, Shawnee told me, really plays a very, very important part in Scottish Gaelic culture, which he still very much knew. And then once we're inside the cave, here, this figure here is a millipede. The millipede actually is living in the cave. I've had to refer to my notes. I did this really years ago. The Coyote. A Coyote is the Gaelic name for the centipede. And what it is, Ador Goyer, she is the intercessor. So this message that is being somehow inscribed in here will be translated into the depth. These paintings are really different from something that's intended to be on the surface. That somehow this message that's being inscribed here is meant to go into the depth of the cave or the mountain or something like that. And that's why the very meticulous effort in painting these things. So that's what we start with here. And here, this is very, very interesting. You know, it's almost be the place where you write a letter, you know, deer. And this first letter looks like a V, is for augury. Augury because the birds fly, you know, in a kind of V shape, like that. So that's what it is to start with, just that letter. And it's fios. Fios would be the augur. And the expression for that, ta fios fia ha good. You have a raven's knowledge. He's now, you know, saying to her. And so we go in here, this image here. You can see the sun up here. This is actually an Ogham. This is spelling her name. You can see this is the G and the R and the N. This writer is spelling it that way. It's green, like that. And this line down the middle is very pronounced as the Ogham B. So this whole thing is, it's using Ogham letters right there. And that's Bianachamido Grin. I will vow to grin, is what he's saying there. And together with this, it actually in English letters, that would be DM, and it means that this is a secret connection, actually pronounced Geobert, a secret. That's what this is here. And this one over here, Kurion Kiel, I secretly declare here. And this is a boat. Now this has been drawn in yellow paint. I think it's very, very unusual to ever come across yellow paint in any of these rock or cave paintings like that. But it all has a meaning to it. You know, buig, the yellow, would mean a flame. A flame. And also, it also means in the idiom, grant to please you. Thank you. That's what the inscriber is meaning by this. And that this is a boat that's overturned. And that's a bonoskian, meaning I have deep love for you. This means this is a lover's language that's going on here. And this is very, very interesting. This is not from the Ogham. This is from a different, Ogham has different variations. This is called branch Ogham. And the name for its rune means secret love. And all this is a lover's way of talking. And on each side of it, these are called footed Ogham. And that name for that is Abba. That's an oar guide. The oar guide. So this is figuring also as a rudder to express the depth. And right alongside it, these two letters are like D and D. Giona Dayar, you are my protector, my shield, my defender. And this funny little thing here is a luig. It's a beauty mark. The little jewel says, you know, that this is a beauty mark. And this down here is very interesting. I've come across this and other Celtic related inscriptions up in the northwest. So it's very interesting. It's called Leberic, meaning there's no match for you. It's a kind of a rebus. And it's been outlined deliberately in white so that it can say, Dila, your shape is peerless. Isn't this amazing that this is all in the Gaelic? Up here, you see this white glow up here, Gael. I promise and I vow, I have a desire here. And there's a red blush in here. Gris, meaning the face of knowledge. And then way over here, we have this also painted in yellow, a buid, golden sun. It means mo buid di re ducia, meaning thanks to her. So I brought these closer together than they are on the cave. This here, I don't know, there's like it's all full of this painted ogam, and this would indicate the very top of the cave. So you'll be looking up. You'll be looking up at this. That's why I included that there. And so all of this, expresses, of an affection for Graham, and a kind of a sense for that. I'm using this piece here. This is what we mean by a medicine wheel. Your medicine wheel is an act of beauty, which deepens the reality of the animal world, deepens the reality of the spirit world, deepens the reality of the sky world. Your life-giving breath surrounds you and all that you love. This doorway of wolf opens me for you to enter. Yo-hey, yo-hey. Okay.